The Golden Restaurant. The golden glow of the restaurant bathed everything in serene elegance. Ornate chandeliers hung like frozen waterfalls, their refracted light dancing off polished surfaces and warm mahogany. The murmur of cultured voices rose and fell like a symphony of civility, the clinking of cutlery on fine porcelain providing the rhythm. It was a sanctuary of human sophistication, designed to dazzle even the most jaded diners. But tonight, that sanctuary would bear witness to events that would ripple far beyond its lavish confines. Nathaniel Carr, a waiter of 6 years in this establishment, suddenly heard a soft thud behind him. He turned to see an alien unlike any he had ever encountered, not that encounters with aliens were uncommon in this era of interstellar commerce. She was a vision of translucent opalescence, her skeletal structure faintly visible beneath her shimmering skin like a constellation trapped in ice. Her eyes were wide and star-flecked, her chest heaving irregularly as she struggled to draw in air. Without hesitation, Nathaniel knelt beside her, his white gloves immediately stained with some unearthly bioluminescence that glowed from her skin. "Call a medic." Nathaniel's voice rang out, cutting through the polite murmur of the patrons. He pressed a gloved hand gently against the alien's back, his training in emergency response kicking in. Her skin was cool to the touch, pulsating faintly with each labored breath. "Sir, step away," came the clipped voice of the maitre d', Gerard, who approached with the stiff posture of a man prioritizing decorum over compassion. "You're disturbing the guests." "She's dying," Nathaniel shot back, his voice edged with urgency. "Do you not see this?" Gerard's lips tightened into a disapproving line. "This establishment is not equipped for situations of this nature. Please stand down." Nathaniel ignored him. Her airways were constricted, she wasn't adapted to this atmosphere. He fumbled in his pocket, pulling out a small oxygen converter, standard issue for staff in case of emergencies with off-world guests. Gently, he pressed the device to the alien's mouth, her wheezing gradually softening as the device worked its magic. The room fell silent. Humans and non-humans alike stared, their shock palpable. In this microcosm of the galaxy's elite, where appearances and reputations mattered more than lives, Nathaniel's act of defiance was nothing short of scandalous. The consequences. "Get security," Gerard hissed, but it was too late. The restaurant's automated system had already flagged the incident, and 2 robotic enforcers rolled forward, their metallic voices echoing, "Unauthorized medical intervention detected. Please step back." Nathaniel stood, shielding the alien with his body. "If I step back, she'll die," he said, his voice calm but unyielding. "Do you want that on your conscience?" One of the enforcers hesitated, a glitch in its programming, perhaps, or some nascent algorithm simulating moral reasoning. But Gerard stepped forward, his finger jabbing at Nathaniel. "You're fired. Do you hear me? Fired." Nathaniel didn't respond. His focus was entirely on the alien, who now gazed up at him with a mixture of confusion and gratitude. Her hand, slender and luminescent, reached up to touch his arm, leaving behind a faint glowing residue. It wasn't until the paramedics arrived, a mix of human and alien professionals, that Nathaniel finally stepped aside. He watched as they carefully loaded the alien onto a levitating stretcher, their equipment emitting soft hums and beeps. The bioluminescent residue she left behind on the floor glimmered faintly, a haunting reminder of the fragility of life. As the medics departed, Gerard turned to Nathaniel, his face red with fury. "Do you have any idea what you've done? This establishment is for the refined, the dignified. You've turned it into a spectacle." Nathaniel removed his gloves, tossing them onto a nearby table. "I saved a life. You've embarrassed us." Gerard snapped. "And you've jeopardized our reputation with the Galactic Council. That creature is from a race of bureaucratic overlords who don't tolerate disruptions. If she dies, do you think they'll thank you for meddling?" Nathaniel's gaze was steely. "I didn't act for gratitude. I acted because it was the right thing to do." Gerard's laugh was bitter. "The right thing to do? You're dismissed," "Mr. Carr, leave your uniform on the way out." Nathaniel walked out of the restaurant into the cold embrace of the city night. Neon lights flickered overhead, their colors reflecting off the rain-slicked streets. He clenched his fists, the weight of what had just transpired pressing heavily on him. Fired for saving a life, it was absurd, yet unsurprising in a world where profits outweighed morality. He didn't regret his actions, but he couldn't ignore the looming uncertainty. Jobs in high-profile establishments like that one were rare, and blacklisting was a real possibility. The unexpected visitor. Nathaniel sighed, leaning against a lamp post, his breath visible in the chilly air. That's when he noticed a figure approaching, a towering alien clad in a suit that seemed to shimmer like liquid metal. His features were sharp and angular, his eyes like twin black holes absorbing all light. There was an aura of authority about him, an air that demanded attention. "Mr. Carr," the alien said, his voice deep and resonant. Nathaniel straightened. "Who's asking?" The alien extended a hand, his fingers tipped with sharp crystalline claws. "I am Vorak. The one you saved is my wife." Nathaniel blinked, his mind racing. "She's your wife? Is she okay?" Vorak inclined his head. "She will recover, thanks to your intervention. You acted with courage and compassion, traits rarely seen in your kind." Nathaniel bristled slightly at the remark but held his tongue. "I did what anyone should have done." "Perhaps," Vorak said, his gaze piercing. "But not what anyone would have done. For that, you have my gratitude." Nathaniel relaxed slightly, but Vorak's next words froze him in place. "However, gratitude is not enough. My wife's survival carries implications, ones that cannot be ignored. The incident at the restaurant was captured on surveillance. The Galactic Council will see it. They will question why a human intervened when protocol demanded otherwise." Nathaniel frowned. "Are you saying I shouldn't have saved her?" "No," Vorak replied, his tone measured. "I am saying your actions have drawn attention. Attention that could either destroy you or elevate you." Nathaniel's brow furrowed. "What are you getting at?" Vorak stepped closer, his towering frame casting a shadow over Nathaniel. "You are unemployed now, yes. Cast out by your own kind for your defiance. But you have proven yourself capable of something far greater than serving meals to the privileged." He reached into his suit, pulling out a small device, a sleek, oblong object that pulsed with a faint blue light. "This is a summoning beacon. Use it, and I will ensure your talents are not wasted." Nathaniel hesitated, his eyes flicking between Vorak and the device. "What kind of talents are we talking about?" Vorak's lips curled into a faint, enigmatic smile. "The kind that save lives and change destinies. The journey begins." That night, Nathaniel sat in his cramped apartment, the summoning beacon resting on the table before him. He turned it over in his hands, its smooth surface cool to the touch. The events of the evening played over and over in his mind, the alien woman's labored breaths, the disdain of his employer, the gratitude in Vorak's eyes. He knew the choice before him was not one to be made lightly. Whatever lay on the other side of that beacon, it was bound to be dangerous, unpredictable. But as he stared at the pulsing blue light, a spark of resolve ignited within him. He pressed the button. The beacon emitted a soft hum, followed by a burst of light. A holographic projection appeared, a star map, vast and intricate, with a single point highlighted in red. Coordinates. A destination. Nathaniel took a deep breath, his heart pounding. He didn't know what awaited him at those coordinates, but one thing was certain, his life would never be the same. The journey began with hesitation. He rented a small shuttle, a cheap, rusted thing barely held together by patchwork repairs. Its interface was dated, the controls clunky, and the navigation system flickered every few minutes. But it was functional, and right now, that was all Nathaniel needed. As the shuttle left the planet's orbit, the view of the galaxy unfolded before him, an endless expanse of stars, nebulas swirling like distant storms, and the occasional glitter of nearby stations. Nathaniel had never ventured this far before. His life had been contained within human-dominated systems, serving the whims of the wealthy and privileged. Now he was heading into the unknown. It started with a distortion in the comm system. Static buzzed through the speakers, interrupting the otherwise monotonous hum of the shuttle. "Unauthorized vessel, respond immediately," came a garbled voice. Nathaniel's pulse quickened. He toggled the comms, his voice firm. "This is Civilian Transport 98 Carr. I'm following designated coordinates. Identify yourself." The reply was immediate, cold, and unwavering. "Vessel 98 Carr, you are entering restricted space. Shut down engines and prepare for inspection." Restricted space. That hadn't been mentioned in Vorek's cryptic recruitment pitch. Before Nathaniel could decide whether to comply, the shuttle jolted violently. Warning lights flared on the console, accompanied by a shrill alarm. Target lock detected, the system droned. Incoming missile. Nathaniel's instincts took over. He slammed the throttle forward, the shuttle lurching into motion as the stars outside blurred into streaks. The missile's proximity alarm blared louder, but Nathaniel's quick thinking had bought him precious seconds. He executed a sharp turn, the G-forces pressing him into his seat as the missile streaked past, exploding harmlessly in the void behind him. The revelation and new beginning. The coordinates led Nathaniel to a massive space station hidden within an asteroid field. As his battered shuttle approached, he was surprised to see a welcoming party. Vorek stood at the docking bay, accompanied by his wife, now fully recovered and glowing with health. "Welcome, Nathaniel Carr," Vorek said as Nathaniel disembarked. "You have passed the first test." "Test?" Nathaniel asked, confused. Vorek's wife stepped forward, her voice like crystalline bells. "The attackers were hired by the Galactic Council to eliminate you. They saw your intervention at the restaurant as a threat to their established order. Humans are supposed to know their place, serve in silence, never act as equals. But you survived," Vorek continued, "which proves what I suspected. You possess something rare, the courage to act when others would stand by, and the skill to survive when others would perish." They led him through the station, and Nathaniel was amazed to see beings from across the galaxy working together, not as masters and servants, but as equals. Engineers, doctors, diplomats, all collaborating on what appeared to be humanitarian missions. "This is the underground network," Vorek explained. "We rescue beings who fall through the cracks of galactic society, who are oppressed by the very systems meant to protect them. We need someone who can move through human spaces undetected, someone with your moral compass and newfound skills." Over the following months, Nathaniel discovered his true calling. He became a field operative, rescuing enslaved workers from mining colonies, evacuating refugees from war-torn systems, and exposing corruption in high places. The wealthy restaurant guests who had once looked down on him now found their illegal operations shut down by anonymous tips and evidence he provided. The irony wasn't lost on him. Gerard's precious establishment was eventually closed by the Galactic Council for tax evasion and labor violations, information that somehow found its way to the authorities through untraceable channels. One evening, as Nathaniel returned from a successful mission to free a group of enslaved alien children, he found a message waiting for him. It was from Gerard, somehow having tracked him down despite his new identity. "I know it was you," the message read. "You destroyed my restaurant, my life's work. Was it worth it?" Nathaniel smiled as he composed his reply, "Every single life we've saved has been worth it. The universe is bigger than your dining room, Gerard. I'm just sorry it took me so long to see that." As he sent the message, Vorek appeared beside him. "Any regrets?" the alien asked. Nathaniel looked out at the stars through the station's viewport, watching as another rescue ship returned with freed prisoners who would soon find new homes and hope. In the distance, his wife was teaching refugee children from a dozen different species, their laughter echoing through the corridors. "None whatsoever," Nathaniel said. I was fired for saving one life. Now I save lives every day. Turns out getting fired was the best thing that ever happened to me. Vorik placed a heavy hand on his shoulder. The universe has a way of correcting itself, my friend. Sometimes it just needs someone brave enough to push it in the right direction. Years later, when historians wrote about the fall of the corrupt Galactic Council and the rise of the more equitable Unified Systems Alliance, they would trace it back to many factors. But those in the know understood the truth. It all began with a waiter who refused to let someone die on his watch, no matter the cost. Nathaniel Carr had learned that sometimes losing everything is the only way to find out who you truly are. And sometimes, the most powerful beings in the universe are simply waiting for someone to show them what courage looks like. The end.